And welcome back. We are live with another Mecca of Banter podcast. Yeah, let's get a round of applause for that, boys. So I wanted to start it off with, I don't think I would have ever said this, but I'm going to say it now. Sean Hughes' Southampton Saints take down defending Premier League champions, Liverpool. How's that make you feel, Butch? How's that make you feel?
Lots of crosses,
really
one
surprised.
shot on goal. It looked like Arsenal like a month ago. Sorry,
Not
go
really
ahead.
surprised. You know?
What do you think about that, Butchie?
Great performance by the Saints. You got to as professional courtesy in this sport, everyone knows you got to tip your cap when you've been defeated, and you have to accept it. And Southampton was fantastic.
And Butch said that in a text immediately following the game.
Yep.
Yeah,
GGs,
Butch is different than a lot of other people in the Mecca. they accept defeat,
Calmer heads
tip
prevail.
their hats. Okay, so like usual, we're going to start it off with a topic that we talk about in the Mecca of Banter, which is our group message with a bunch of our guys that we talk soccer and we talk a lot of trash with each other. So this week we had an interesting list brought to us, and it was brought to us by JP Murray. And this list values players on what their value is for if they were to be transferred out,
IES
correct?
football, right?
Yes. So one of the main things we were talking about is how flawed this list is. And
I think it looks great.
Let me just start. How it was introduced was people were citing the list for their players that they liked.
of course, which makes sense.
I come in and I see how much Rashford's rated for and how a bunch of smiley faces next to their player's name, and I say, wait a minute. Let me take a gander at this list, see what we're working with. Where is Mbappe and Haaland on this list? And they fell behind our young star, Marcus Rashford, who I have a lot of respect for. I think he's a great young talent. Is he worth more than Mason Greenwood, Dobes?
Who?
Rashford.
Absolutely.
Absolutely?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Like, I don't even think that's close.
You don't think it's close?
Just to give
Because if you look at Rashford, well, it's just because he's improved every single year.
Yeah.
Like every single year, his stats have gotten better. You can see his improvement as a number 9, as a winger. Like, no way is he number 1, but like in my opinion, he's in the top 10 to 15. In my opinion, but look at think of who our 5 probably are. Between like Mbappe, Haaland, like I would even put Sancho. Like if I'm just talking wingers, I'd put Sancho above him. I mean, there's so many players that I think are younger and are producing better than Rashford is right now. But I get where the value comes from, but
The value comes from experience in a striker too, though. At the same time, so he's that pivotal age. I mean, he's that like
he's 23.
23 years old.
Somehow played internationally already. Like, I mean, you just taking a bunch of free kicks in the Euros that looked horrible, but I mean, he's
going to be a mainstay in the England team. I mean, it's just it's one of those things where as long as Southgate's there, Southgate loves him, calls him to every camp, every big game. Rashford's in the lineup. Like, he's honestly. We looked terrible yesterday against Man City, but once again, he was our most dangerous player. Looked like he was going to score more than anybody else. But to me, it's just one of those where he definitely should be lower, but I also think that he has that level that he could hit this season where he may get to that price tag. Yeah. Like, he's one of those guys that he could go on a run where he scores 10 games in a row.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, he's got that ability.
Yeah, and just to give people context that are listening, I'm going to list off just go to the
top 10.
Top 10. So we got Marcus Rashford at 1, Haaland at 2, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Bruno Fernandes, Kylian Mbappe, Jadon Sancho, Joao Felix, Alphonso Davies, Raheem Sterling, Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, and Mo Salah. And that's where I'm going to stop there because I think that is one of the big topics we wanted to talk about. Someone in our Mecca of Banter, I will name names, Brian Flannery. When seeing this list, us 4, maybe besides Dobes, would have discredited this list by not seeing Haaland or Mbappe up at the top. But the flag
got distracted by Bruno.
Yeah.
Really. Not anything else. Just went straight to
number
Bruno.
4, baby.
Skipped Rashford, went straight to Bruno.
The most controversial talk that we had in the group message was Timo Werner being above Mo Salah is what discredited the list for some people. Now, I think there are others here that strongly disagree with that, and me being one of them as well, but I might lead it over to Sean to show some stats or talk about it as well.
The thing between the two of them is I think it's very close. And in such an appalling list, where, I mean, frankly, whoever made them, I just think was looking for a bunch of hot takes, which they definitely got, and their list was propelled all over the internet. Good for them. Well done, CIA's football. Bunch of bums. Dear Lord. But yeah, when I looked at the list, so many things caught my eye that when you picked one like that, where Mo Salah does, I mean, he's been absolutely phenomenal, no matter how you want to say it, for Liverpool. He's the stats that he's put up are insane. But for me, there's a bigger context to that. And it's that he's been in one of the most prolific offenses in soccer. I was going to say modern soccer history, but soccer history.
For sure.
Them and Manchester City,
Absolutely.
and as far as the Premier League goes, them and Manchester City's like statistics alone, the amount of goals they've scored, have broken all the records that the Prem has ever had. Salah in this time has definitely been a driving force of that Liverpool goal scoring effect. But he's also missed more chances than anyone except for Gabriel Jesus. We're gonna table that because I don't get it either. But since Mo Salah's been in the league, he's the only person over 50 big chances missed in the Premier League. That to me
That's wild.
is a problem.
That is wild.
It doesn't mean he's bad. It doesn't mean he's invaluable. It means that you consider it in a whole sum of parts when you evaluate his game.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Just like you do Timo Werner having a terrible start to the Premier League. His stats are fine, but if you watch the game, just like how I'm evaluating Mo Salah at a deep level, you watch Timo Werner and you say, who is that?
Yeah, I agree, but I would
Who
also
is that?
I would say the last 10 games. I wouldn't necessarily say start to the Premier League because his first, I think,
Scored looked terrible.
He had in his first, what was it, 7 games? He had
one of those
4
games
goals, 4
where it's
assists.
like,
I mean,
Scored looked
do
terrible.
nothing for 89
I know.
minutes.
Okay. I'm not going to defend it because I
Yeah.
agree he's not playing well. I'm 100%.
Man
on
is a
that.
walking trash bag right now.
Okay, chill over there. Chill over there, my guy.
I just, as context as our argument with, and it's people know that for me with Salah, it goes way back because I think he's an overrated player as a system for Liverpool because people rate him as like a top 5 player in the world right now. And I think if he were to go to a different team than Liverpool, he wouldn't have the success.
Absolutely.
So when you
Agreed.
take it to Werner, that's where I got that to that list. That's where I had my problem. Butch, you got a problem with what I said? Or are we
What are
straight?
your
problem,
thoughts?
bro?
Because I didn't even really get a chance to express that. I went straight to you dumbass. What do you mean? Salah's so much better in the Mecca of Banter. But I want to let Butch talk.
I would like to speak about, so Sean's stat is absolutely dead on the money. And I didn't know it was 54 missed chances, big missed chances.
That's crazy.
That's a huge, I would put him maybe
one
around
player
40.
in the 40s, 2 players in the 50s. Oh, Gabriel Jesus. Yeah, Jamie Vardy's in the 40s.
By the way, the Jesus stat,
That's
that
He needs to
man
figure it
doesn't
out.
play a lot.
He needs to
He's
figure
terrible.
that out.
That is horrible.
That's
He's a good player too. It doesn't just discredit
They
you.
literally
but, like,
don't trust him enough to where they're playing Kevin De Bruyne and number 9 over him, dude. Which it worked.
I was
Better
gonna
than,
say,
it worked.
I mean,
that's
Anyway, go ahead,
actual
go
dumb.
but no, the stat about big chances missed is dead on the money. 54. That's a lot of missed chances, man. But I just also look at what so in his 4 years, he's never been below 20 goals in the Prem.
Insane.
He's finished every single season in the Premier League above 20. First year, broke the record, 32. Broke Ronaldo and Shearer's record. Next year, 22. And he's probably on pace for 22,
I
25.
think he's going to
And more assists this year, right?
Yeah, well, he has 4 or 5
He's
assists
going to
already.
get 20 this year.
I think he'll maybe get between 20 and 25. So that'd be 4 straight years that he's been at Liverpool. And you speak about he is basically fit for this offense. I agree. I think if you put him back at Roma, he's not going to score
Never.
30 goals. No, of course not. He fits the offense perfect. Him and Mane, I think the same goes for Mane. You take Mane out, Mane's not going to be scoring 22 goals.
He's not a Ballon d'Or contender.
No.
For damn sure.
No.
Definitely not.
No, but I just want to say, like, if we're talking value,
Yeah.
at the moment in time, right now, Werner, his value shouldn't be diminished too much because of his age.
Agreed.
It shouldn't be
And I love
diminished.
that you're saying this
He's
right now.
he just turned 24. He's got a lot of years ahead of him, but you have to make a case for proficiency. Mo Salah's been doing it for 4 years. Yes, he's in an offense that fits him. Yeah, I agree.
Let me ask you a question.
But he's been doing
What
it.
can you
Will
do
he
for
get
me
better?
now is definitely important.
But that's the age factor. So I
Will he
agree.
get better?
He's 28. He's in his prime.
That's where the value comes in.
Exactly.
It's the age versus.
Will he get better?
Timo Werner's
I don't
going to get
know.
better.
Yeah, I agree.
Depending on how much soccer you've watched, it's fairly well accepted that when you transition to a league, there's a specifically for goal scorers.
It's a grace
They
period.
struggle when joining a new league more than any league, the Premier League, more than any league probably right now, in my opinion, the Premier League than ever, because it's just literally a shit show.
Yeah.
It's chaos. I mean, maybe,
What's crazy is like no other league in the world is it like you're a number 9, you're not scoring. Like Werner's never received this type of criticism in his life.
Never.
No,
Like,
because he's been
the fans
scoring.
let him
I think
hear it.
that I think that adds on to what we were talking about earlier. Is we think Timo Werner has the yips, and I think the media and everyone
seems
talking
mental,
him,
dude.
It is.
It's all mental.
It's all of that's weighing on him.
he just seems like such a nice kid.
There'll be times
Just
though,
need,
like,
someone needs to put his arm, like the media need to be putting their arm around this
He
guy.
needs a pen.
there'll be
a
times though,
bag of
like where
pens.
he is brilliant though. Like he'll make those little tight niche areas with him and Pulisic, good combinations, like stuff that he should do. It's just like you're 6 yards out and you're like blowing it over the top or you're putting it wide. It's just like you don't have that confidence to like bury it.
I also think a big thing to do with that, and we can. I don't know if we want to segue into this, but I
Yeah,
think
one more point on it.
Chelsea's system doesn't fit Timo's play style.
I don't know.
Okay,
what-
it
I
kind
don't
of has
know
to
what
do
their
it. It
best
kind of has to
system
do with
is,
that because
though.
it's about Giroud. So, what I said into counter plan in the group, and I think definitely should end this conversation wholly when he's talking about the recency bias is Olivier Giroud's goal scoring compared to Lionel Messi's in time
Yeah, that
played.
was pretty funny.
I don't know how that. Or sorry, anyone listening, would you rather have Giroud or Olivier Giroud or Lionel Messi play in your team tomorrow?
I think that's a
Fairly
no-brainer.
easy.
Well,
question.
Olivier Giroud scoring goals at a higher rate than he is.
Yeah. And I also that was another thing that when the conversation was going on in the group message that I kept leaning on was this isn't about who he thinks a better player at all. This is value. This is you think Marcus Rashford is the best player in the world right now?
I think
No,
another
it's
one,
all
though,
about
is-
value. It's jersey sales.
they
It goes even
he
deeper.
understood.
It goes what club they're coming
to
from.
me-
Manchester United players. Lindelof is on this list. Manchester United as a club brings more value to players.
100%.
So people, I
Daniel
think people,
James is
I think people
Daniel
completely.
James.
Well, not
That
all of
list
us.
is still wrong.
Oh, I agree.
Don't try and justify the list.
I'm just saying.
Mbappe, what did he just do with LeBron? Sorry if that was loud.
I have a weird question for you guys, and this is I don't have any bias on it, but looking at who is third on this list is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Do you guys think? Hang on, just a question. Do you guys think if he goes to another club, is he going to be as effective as he has for Liverpool?
no.
It would have to be a certain set of clubs, but certain ones, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Because
certain-
this
it's
is
certain playing style.
Their philosophy, we kind of talked about last time, is at least from their dream season, I think, is still the objective of most teams is to play their style.
Yeah.
The 3 midfields and the 3 wingers, and then the fucking wingbacks that can
getting
overlap and
forward.
press you
Yep.
relentlessly and can whip in a ball that's threatening, so you have to respect it. And he's that. So I mean, I don't even know right now if he's my. I'm not gonna. For him, I don't like the this or that guy. He needs to step it up.
Oh, absolutely.
Guys, there are
38
other-
times he
That
gave the ball
stat.
away.
I'm not-
that
it's not even
stat
that- it's not even
blew
that
me
game,
away.
though.
But
And, like,
just that
that-
stat in general, 38
Bad.
takeaways
But
from a wingback.
There are good wing backs.
Yes.
There are good wing backs in the England system now. Like
Yes.
you think like Reece James is good. Kyle Walker-Peters for Southampton is
Very
is
good.
very, very, very good.
He impressed me that
Left
game.
Tottenham when they were starting to play him in the Champions League because they couldn't promise him a starting spot the next year, and he literally said, "No, I'm out."
Mane's
He's
still in his
legit.
pocket.
I'm with Walker. I'm with Kyle Walker-Peters.
Mane lives in his pocket.
Can we talk about? Well, Trent. I'm going to be honest. I disagree with Trent being 3, and that's coming from a Liverpool supporter. I don't think he is anywhere near that top 5.
I mean, he's above Mbappe.
Yeah, there's no way he should be there. The only justification I'm going to give him is when I watch him play compared to a guy like Reece James, I think he redefines the position more than Reece.
He had the second most chances created last year.
He doesn't
He's
play
a wing back.
But how much
So-
do you sacrifice that for being
I'm saying it's up
a
for
defensive
debate, but I'm-
liability. I
defensive
agree. I agree.
liability.
in certain teams, which are the best teams, who pay the most money. I don't know. I could just
Virgil? I think
Sorry,
Virgil
I interrupted
in a
you.
center back position too, like makes that
Oh my
whole back four
gosh.
different.
Oh my god!
Like his communication, like the way he would have like Matip or somebody slide over for Trent, it doesn't get, or it gets exposed now because I think he's not in that back four.
Think if you're Trent Alexander-Arnold and you have the ball at the wing, you know Virgil van Dijk is behind you. You have all the freedom in the world to do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, I fully.
He shouldn't be in the top 5.
No, absolutely not. But he is.
I could hear the argument for it, but I'm not with it.
Yeah, he's so valuable because he's 21. He won the Champions League at 19. He won the Premier League the year after. Huge part of what they've done. No question about it.
That heads-up corner kick play, bro. Coaches will remember that forever.
Oh, forever. But if it's okay with you guys, I want to move on. I want to talk about Bruno being 4. I think I really want to see your guys' opinions on this because we've been going back and forth for all the listeners out there. We've been going back and forth for a few days about Bruno Fernandes versus Kevin De Bruyne right now. Not over the span of a few years, not over the span of career. We're talking about this season right now. We've been talking De Bruyne, Fernandes. Who are you taking?
I see that.
Fernandes is at 4 on this list at around 135 million euro value. What do you guys think? Is that justified?
No,
not in my opinion. And once again, this goes back to I don't think the list is justified at all. But if we want to segue into
like our own list, I mean that could get
the Bruno KDB.
Should he be top 10?
Bruno Fernandes, most valuable players right now?
Yes.
No.
he's in the top 10.
See, I think he is.
He's in the top 10.
I think he is.
I mean, and I truly don't want to get into like a stats analytical debate, but it's like
because they're not good.
His goal scoring or his goals and assist ratio is unbelievable.
It's efficiency.
I mean, it's efficiency, but it was from the moment he came to the Prem up until December, he had the best start of anybody in the Premier League ever. It's not, I want to clarify, it's not the start of a season. It's from last season since he joined the Prem up until December.
Define best start.
Based on goals and assists per game.
There you go. Okay.
So my thing about Bruno is that like you look at a game like yesterday where he's absent, and I think that what people aren't realizing is Ole has to lean on him. And he's leaning on, in my opinion, he's leaning on him too much right now to where he's getting too many games in a row where it's so hard for a player like that to play at the top level. Like Danny Van Der Beek has not started, and I think it's like 10 to 12 games. Mm-hmm. And a player like that, especially in December, when you're playing 3 games.
Already rumors about him leaving.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're playing 3 games this amount of time. Like, I'll give him a pass on yesterday. But as far as where he should be on the list, like, to me, it's so tough to judge because I'm basing it on him at Manchester United over the last, not even a full year yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was going to be my point.
Before that, it's like he's at, you know what I mean? He's playing over in Portugal, and it's like, yeah, I mean, he's.
How old is Bruno?
26.
Yeah, he's 26 years old. So it's
I think that has a lot to do with it as well.
I mean, he's also, that's one of the things, it's young, but if you look at what Bruno brings to the team more than stats, he's our captain that doesn't have the armband. It's his mentality. It's the way he goes about it. He brings everybody on the field with him. And without him, there's no chance that we're joint top right now.
No shot.
And so that's what I think, that people see his stats and people see that like his amount of PKs. But like if you're a Man United fan, you watch what he brings to the team.
He wants to go forward all the time.
Well, not even that. But
he demands the ball.
He goes forward more than
I'm not even talking soccer. It's a mentality that he brings to the team that no matter what we're in the game, no matter what we have a shot, it has to be like he made a statement after Man City yesterday.
Like be positive.
Be positive. Yeah, but we didn't have that before Bruno. You know what I mean? And so I think that is undervalued. Like everybody can compare the stats and but the undervalued part of it for me is what he brings to our team.
Yeah, and I think I could be, I wouldn't say blind to it, but as a United fan, you have a better insight than anyone else.
You see the training ground. I listen to the interviews of players talking about what Bruno brings to the team, and it's like you look at it over like a year ago and he's not there. There's none of that. Like we're like everybody's Ole out. We're in shambles. Like he came in the team and all of a sudden like
Harry Maguire's getting arrested. Paul Pogba's in the media.
Ole's stock has risen. Yeah. But it's like, I mean, I think Bruno is such a big part of that, and people don't realize that.
I love Bruno Fernandes and loved him like so much in Sporting CP, and like when I watched him, like when I had him on FIFA, like I don't know, he was just one of those guys where like
I mean, he balled.
I was
Sporting.
just drawn to him to watch his YouTube videos, and like I don't know, I just always thought he was going to be the real deal, and he is a fantastic player. I just think people are just a little too over the top on him. My main drawing point from that is like specifically you went away from the stats this time, but when most people talk about it, they talk about the stats 99% of the time.
Yeah.
And his stats are good, but he had attempted. I wish I had it in front of me.
It's the pass accuracy.
I know, but I'm trying to think of the exact number because it's like on the tip of my tongue. I know their pass accuracies were 75.6 was Bruno's, and KDB's was like 82 point something, and Kevin De Bruyne had a fair amount more of chances created in that time period. He was creating more expected goals. He was driving offense far more efficiently without turning the ball over. And there's levels to that. He's in far more of controlled situation with City on the ball. Like there's nuances all over the place.
I was gonna say
just like Bruno having 70 meters to counterattack and constantly with rapid wingers that De Bruyne does not get the chance to do because teams are packing an 11 deep on him. There's levels to it. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, Bruno is not just he's not just the gold standard yet. Like I mean, he's playing very well. No one can discredit him. But if you're going to talk about him as being elite, better than De Bruyne, better than these things, like that's where I draw the line, because De Bruyne could do what he's doing in his sleep. Because he does that as a leader. He drives his team forward. He brings all that passion. He's the captain of his teams, and he's better. The only thing that he's not getting are penalty kicks and the live action goals this year. If Bruno outscores him at the end of this year, that'd be good. But that doesn't make you a better player. If you're turning the ball over 8% more of the time with producing less expected goal value, then you're like a far off, actually worse player by the stats, passing and goal creation wise.
My whole thing is, it's like we can go.
And if you're worse than De Bruyne, you could be the second best. You could be the second best midfielder in the world. Like
and absolutely. Yeah. But the thing is, like those, like absolutely. That's
because De Bruyne is a leader too, though.
No, yeah, but that's Bruno's weakest part of his game by far. But I also don't want to ignore the fact that if you watch Man City day in and day out, or every week, like I have, Kevin De Bruyne ahead of
United.
I watch Man City. Man City and Man United are the two teams I watch every time they play. Kevin De Bruyne had a pedestrian start to the season.
Yeah.
Like if you watch the game, like
he did, for sure.
I mean, I said start to the season.
I know.
You just completely made me lose my
Sorry.
thought. But if you look at him, these last two games against United yesterday and at the weekend, he's absolutely fucking brilliant. Like it's the same thing we said. Like he didn't score yesterday, but that team does not work without him.
No, absolutely not.
The beginning of the season, that was not the case with them. They looked dysfunctional. They looked, you know what I mean? But we're just people, because like when you start to look at Kevin De Bruyne, you talk about the 2020 season, the stats and stuff like that. It's like, that's the Kevin De Bruyne gold standard that I hold him to.
Got you.
Well, he's done it every season but this one so far.
But that's what I'm saying.
And his assists and everything are on pace for it.
But that's what the
only thing that's not are goals.
But that's what I'm saying. I hold Kevin De Bruyne to the goals and assists. Like it's one of those things where that's what makes him so special, in my opinion. And he could be having you know what I mean? He might not be being put in the positions to where he can score as much, and he has to create, and that's his new role, which he's still being unbelievable at. But for me, it's like when I look at Kevin De Bruyne, it's like I said Kevin De Bruyne score the worldly free kicks. I see him score the tap-ins. The guy finds a way to score. He's not doing that this season, so why would I not fault him? I get he's still affecting the game, but it's like not to the same standard he always has.
Of course.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
I'm just taking Kevin De Bruyne over.
I don't think the goal fall off as of right now is enough to justify that change. Not just specifically because of Bruno's penalties. What is he beating him by? 3 goals? Is it 4-2 or 5-2?
What? And
Bruno to De Bruyne in actual goals.
I think it's like 14-3.
In the Prem?
Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne all total, but Kevin De Bruyne only has 3 goals this year.
And how many does Bruno? Bruno has 11.
Bruno has 11.
7 are PKs.
5 are PKs.
5 are PKs in the Prem? Okay, that's what I was asking. So it's 6-3.
Okay.
So it's a 3-goal difference.
But
I mean, but he
you
still has
guys,
the
you guys act like the penalties don't matter.
No, I'm not saying they don't matter, but
I just watched Jorginho, one of the best
the
penalty kickers in the world, miss a PK.
We're talking about legitimate value, though. Do you think penalties make a player better than the other?
I'm not saying
in a situation where the other player is better in every other category.
I'm not saying it makes it better, but I'm saying that you need a player that can step up and take.
And De Bruyne
PKs.
could do it.
Just because City hasn't gotten the penalties is not Bruno's fault.
That's true.
Yeah, you can't
you can't discredit it because City doesn't have the same amount of fouls.
But also at the same time, you still have to keep that in the back of your head.
Absolutely.
Just to weigh that all
lot
equally.
of those goals are pens, which is
absolutely.
Which is once again, I think what you said was perfect. Was you can't fault Bruno for that. Like the man's bagging his pens. Like,
yeah, but they're penalties. They're penalties that are putting United.
You were
second
asking a
place
soccer analyst to purchase a player right now and evaluate their skill levels. They would interpret the penalties as what they are: a goal that is not the same value as another goal that is good for the player.
A goal that makes us up 2-1 to get 3 points against Villa.
But it's not the same as another goal.
Yeah, I think at the end of the year, when they're looking at their goals, they're going to come up to Bruno and they're going to say, "Wow, you scored 25 goals this year."
Yeah, but when you're
that's all they're going to say.
Yeah, Manchester United will say that, but an opposing team that's willing to.
I mean,
you're telling me when a team's going to buy a player, if they have 25 goals and 20 of them are penalty kicks, they're going to pay the same amount for that player as someone who scored 25 live goal kicks? The conversation we're having is kind of crazy. We got to be. The penalty kicks are not the same value as a goal. They're a big value, but if we're talking,
he would walk into any team.
So last take on this argument, United's second place, joint top with Liverpool right now. Okay. Bruno Fernandes has 18 goal involvements in the Premier League, 11 goals, 7 assists. That's probably half of their goals scored this year. Where's United if you take them out? Where are they at the table? You think they're top 5?
Here's the thing. I will tell you guys about Bruno, and I told this to Nick yesterday. When Bruno Fernandes joined Man United, I didn't think he was going to be half this good of a player. You see him for Sporting, and you watch his highlights, and he was brilliant. But it's so hard to translate that to the best.
He's a flair guy.
He's a flair guy. It's so hard to translate that to the best and most physical league in the world.
Yeah,
and he's done it. So
he looks very good.
It's the same thing.
He looks the best.
It's the same thing I said. I said our first podcast. I said I think United is going to finish 4th. I would still be happy with 4th because if we're going to win the Premier League title, Bruno's going to be player of the season.
100%.
He has to be. He has to be.
I'm stretching my jaw. I'm not reacting.
Because he has to be. And I just think if he has to keep that up or Donnie's got to come in and ball. But I think that he's clearly our most important player.
So 100%. you still rate Donnie highly?
It has to be so frustrating to be Donnie van de Beek and know that you come from a team that was in the Champions League semifinal and he's like one of the first names on the team sheet. And you come to Man United, and it's like I don't think Donnie.
Who when he came in, were not.
I don't think Donnie thought Bruno was going to be that good. You know what I mean? It's like, but one of the good things is it's nice to have depth. So when he gets his chance, hopefully he takes it.
Hopefully.
It's tough for me too because like I said, if you asked me 2 years ago, who might list my 5 favorite midfielders, he would have been there.
Yeah, I think
I still love him. What makes me not? It's the same thing with Salah. Perfect person who could provide insight to this would be Dietrich. I rode Salah so hard. I called him the Egyptian Messi when he was on Basel before anyone knew him. Loved him, but people make me stray away from him when they claim he's the best, and that's not what you're I'm not claiming. It's more so for Salah. Bruno's been hot for 3 months and.
It could be 3 months.
Bruno's been hot for 12.
12 months.
He's been hot for 12
I was comparing it in hot context with De Bruyne being better than him.
I think it's this weird thing where United players or United fans rate Bruno so high and other fans think he's so overrated. It's just this weird chemistry that makes it so hard.
It's the United effect.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think it's just United. I think it happens with majority of Salah's a great example.
I think that if he was playing for Chelsea right now and he was doing what he was doing, there would not necessarily be this much controversy around Bruno. That's my. I truly think. People couldn't disagree.
Or maybe in the media, and you could be totally right.
1000%. I think that it's the way that he's perceived. And I also think I will 100%. I will talk shit. The United fan base is horrible. It's horrible.
Wow.
They're large.
Well, it's large.
Not worse than Arsenal, but.
No, I mean, I don't mean that in terms of, I mean, they're so hard on the players.
Oh, I bet.
Like, Bruno had a bad game yesterday, and you go look and you look at what people are saying, and it's like they're roasting this dude.
I didn't know Chelsea was as bad as they were.
But it's crazy.
Beak sends me the shit that Chelsea guys say.
United fans are horrible.
Chelsea's real bad.
Arsenal, they've just abandoned all hope. So they're the worst. Our highlight of my highlight of the Prem weekends are definitely the Arsenal fan TV videos that they send.
Always.
Hands down. D's been watching those forever.
Always.
All right, so we can hop off topics, but I did want to shout out. I remembered last week we were talking about most valuable players on our team. I shouted out Yannick Bednarak. He came to play.
Love that.
That boy came to play against Liverpool.
Didn't
he? Dobes.
Yeah,
did.
unbelievable.
Fantastic.
Sean and I were texting that game.
Sound.
Fantastic.
Every time there was a chaotic situation in the back that you'd think a player in a Premier League club that wasn't in the top 4 center back. That's the best way to put it. Just a bottom 16, like an Everton to Newcastle to Burnley to Southampton, one of their center backs. He's in a chaotic situation, getting faced by Liverpool in a 1-0 game, and he's passing out of his back under pressure. Like it's nothing. Left foot, right foot. He'll get his pitching wedge out, drive it 30 yards to the wing mid. Guys all over him. Pass accuracy, best on the team.
What did it for me is you sent that video to Dobes, and Dobes showed me
Started
when we were
the
watching
attack.
the game. No, that was insane too.
Yeah.
But
What I was going to say. That was prime Barcelona.
I
was
love
prime
this guy.
Barcelona out of the back.
Vestergaard, take him. Take him.
They went to go play Mane, and he stepped in front of him, and the ball went out of it. I was going to say the passion that he showed after that, it gave me chills. I was like, wow,
That's
this
my
man,
guy.
he wants it. He wants the dub. Yeah, that one, that is what put it for me where I was like, okay, Sean wasn't lying about this.
That game was
I
one
want
of
them to
those
take
where-
Vestergaard so bad when everyone in the mob texts, oh, I mean, this Vestergaard dude, he's scoring goals. Well, keep scoring them. Because guess what? He's accountable for a goal against us every time. And I don't want to bet on someone scoring a header for us when they're literally hand-delivering guys the ball in our 18-yard box because he can't pass.
And one of the craziest things going with Vestergaard
Sometimes
that I
he
heard
can pass.
from the
He's
weekend
inconsistent,
was
mad inconsistent.
before the Southampton-Liverpool game, they were talking about all the injuries that Southampton had. And one of the announcers said that Vestergaard was a top 4 center back in the league.
Well,
and
that's how they all talk about
I
him.
know. And I was like, holy cow.
I don't know
Because-
why they rate him so highly.
Because he's
crazy.
big and he scores, goals. And I'll tell you what, when he's on the ball, he has this like look about him. Like he could just ping that ball like 80 yards, like it's no problem. And sometimes he will. And it'll just look beautiful because he's 6'7". And he's literally small. I think he's either 6'5" or 6'6". Will you look it up?
Yeah, I'll look that up real quick.
He's massive.
He's smashing it.
And it's just the most beautiful stroke of a ball you've ever seen in your life. But there are times when he's like, you can tell he's like thinking like, okay, where do I loft this ball? And then he's turned it over in our 18-yard box.
I mean, no wonder he scores goals.
Yeah.
He's 6'6", man.
And how many times in live play and games that everyone's been watching have I said he's the worst player in the Premier League?
Yeah.
As he literally fumbles and trips and turns the ball over at the halfway line. Get him out of my squad. Our center backs are class. Jack Stevens, and Yannick Bednarak, and Walker Peters.
That's what I was saying. That game, all 3 of them were impressive.
And Ryan Bertrand. Class.
Bertrand's been around a while, and he's still
He
going.
won the Champions League with Chelsea at left wing. Look it up.
Hey, what a
Look it up.
What a finish from your boy, Danny Ings.
Oh.
That's my boy.
How improved?
That's my boy.
finish.
How improved is this lad?
What
That's
a
my boy,
finish.
baby.
That-
Danny
that
Ings, the bagsman.
That
I
look
had
he
a buddy
gave
try to say that he didn't mean to do it. I go, what the fuck did he mean to do that?
Hey,
He was playing crossbar.
that look.
He wouldn't
That
have put it
look.
over.
That
Guys.
look. He goes.
I'm telling you guys, you guys know this because I love Danny Ings, and if it weren't for injuries, I think he would have been good at Liverpool, especially with the system.
He didn't celebrate either.
No, but I'm telling you,
Walk out a little.
he is in the form of his life the last 2 years, and I think there's so much more to come from him. If he can stay fit, he will drive this Southampton team into the top half of the table every single year because they've got a freaking great squad. They've got fantastic players around him. Their midfield is brilliant. Their back line's doing great. Goalkeeper's been good too, by the way.
Yeah, they played Fraser Foster because of COVID, and if he comes out of nowhere, hasn't played since 2016,
And he did
all
great.
this dude does is turn the ball over.
McCarthy-
before he retired, before he got benched, all he does is turn the ball over. He doesn't play for 4 years, shuts out Liverpool.
Yeah. McCarthy's been very good, though.
shots,
but I'm
but-
telling you guys, Danny Ings, He is a bagsman.
My thing about Ings, as someone who watches him every game, I didn't know he had the football in him. And he didn't have it in him, to be fair. Like, I watched it day in and day out. He was making bonehead plays. And I feel like, if I had to guess, he's just studying the game. Like, he's got to just be relentless. Because his vision and his IQ and his link up and things that are like the way he checks into the pocket to receive the ball. And when he gets the ball, I'm not like, why aren't you in front of the goal anymore? I'm like, he's going to create something. He's going to spin off. Like, he's a part of the attack. Mm-hmm. When Shea Adams and Theo Walcott get on the ball, I'm like, damn, we lost it.
Theo's impressed me.
Shea Adams has like the 7th most chances created, or he has 7 chances created.
I love that name.
He's
though.
like
Shea.
4th in the Prem in chances created, and he turns the ball over more than anyone I've ever seen. So like whatever, like him and Theo Walcott are just absolute liabilities. That's how I used to feel about Ings, but he would still score goals. Mm-hmm. Now he looks good on the ball.
Oh man,
He's like,
and he's scoring goals,
man.
and he's working hard, and he's our leader. I'm all in.
All right, so now we're halfway through the season. As a Southampton fan,
Top 4.
top 4. I love to hear that.
Well, you got to push for it
After
now.
the Liverpool game, it's simple as that.
You got to push for it now.
Because that was without
You can't-
Romeu. That was with our backup center mid, we were like, he's a 21-year-old kid. We didn't even know if he had it in him.
Yeah. If you don't push for top 4 right now, where you're at in Southampton, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You're doing it wrong. And you know,
And our
Hasenhüttl. Okay, first of all, the passion he showed gave me chills.
it gave me chills, but it also like if I was a player, I would also be like, "Yo, dude, like you should expect us to win." Like
You know
I'm
that,
trying
yeah,
to-
but do you know that he's been coaching against Klopp for 10
Klopp,
years and he's
bro.
never beat him?
Yeah, which is true.
That's
which
like
I-
me
which I
coaching
love. But
against
as a
somebody
player,
for
I'm
10
walking
years
up
and
to
I've
him
never
like,
beaten
dude,
him.
bro,
And
like,
that's not like you
Act
coaching
like you've
someone.
been here
again,
before.
Stop.
We're,
That's
over, we're
listen.
overrating Klopp here. Come on.
Let me,
I
let me-
agree.
Let me
No.
put this in the proper perspective. That's like him coaching against Eureka's head coach right now, and then going on and then coach, because these guys were coaching together. It's not at the top flight of the Bundesliga. They're in German League 2, I'm pretty sure, when they started.
Yeah.
Coaching against each other, get promoted, coaching against each other. Klopp just works him every single time.
10 years.
Now
So
what's
I
Klopp
take it.
got? Liverpool. Who's Hasenhüttl got? The
I know, but I'm
Saints.
just saying.
A beaten down Saints.
if I'm a player, I'm gonna be like, "Come on, dude."
I'm just saying I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I kind of want to. So what I was going to add on to what you're saying is, let's say they don't finish top 4. Are you upset? Are you mad?
Just depends.
I feel like
Depends
it's,
on
on the
where
layout
they
of the-
finish.
I
Well,
feel like the fashion that it all happens in, I think definitely put, like, if you guys lose it like a 90th minute game, you're obviously going to hurt more than, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Well, it's just for me, it's a lot of that, but it's also just a lot of the Premier League season. It's the most tumultuous Premier League season
it's
of all time,
Wild.
Crazy.
ever. Like, it's hard to predict every
I
week.
feel like nobody could be mad at top 4 right now. Like, I don't feel
Yeah.
like with Liverpool's not in great form.
If we
like,
make the Europa League in this year, we'll be happy. We won't be the happiest.
Got you.
no,
Okay.
absolutely.
I respect that. Because, like, for instance, with me and Chelsea, if we don't finish top 4, I'm gonna be mad, and I'm gonna.
You should be with your squad.
Well, yeah, of course. I'm just saying that's
Spend
why I
another 200
asked the
million.
question.
What?
I said spend another 200
The
million.
thing with the spinning is, you know
It's
how
so
it is. It's if you
BS.
start last year, it's
made
fucking, it's
30
this team. If
million.
you start 2 years ago, it's this team. If you start 3 years ago, it's this team. Spent the much. Start 4, start 5. It changes every year
How do-
until you get to Manchester United.
No, every single. But here's what it is. It's like every single year the team that spends the most money. If you don't produce, you're criticized. Next year it's going to happen. It happens to United when we freaking bought Falcao and Di Maria, and they both fucking sucked. Like, it happens to everybody. Damn right, I'm going to chat shit to Chelsea fans for spending 200 million. You kidding me? Spend 200 million. Freaking the guy we're talking about, Bruno, has more goals than Pulisic, Ziyech, and Kai Havertz.
Well, I mean, there's injuries and
I mean, there's
time
injuries,
and
but-
all that.
All of them were injured at one point.
Don't care, man.
Okay.
200 million.
Yeah, for me, the money is more. I don't know. You're gonna look at that as a whole. They just got there as a whole, as a unit together. A lot of those guys, they're all kids. There's coronavirus,
Sean, I
craziest
get
season
that,
of all
dude,
time.
but I want to chat shit, man. I get
That's what
all
the Mecca's
that.
all about.
I
Let's
get
chat
all
some
that.
shit.
You're 100% right. I'm still going to chat shit.
Let's chat.
So we're
they're
talking.
blowing it. I'm not telling you. They're throwing. All
right, let's
if
chill,
they
let's
mess this up for Lampard, holy,
Well, that's my.
because he's a good coach, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
I'm with him.
Well, that's the
I
point.
think
he's a
I
smart
am
coach.
with him.
Here's the take I want to bring up. We just talked about how this is the most just crazy season we've seen in Prem, right? teams are bouncing from 1st to 8th to 2nd to 10th. Chelsea was 1st.
We
A
were.
few months back, top of the league. Okay, they're sitting 8th, bad form.
9th.
9th. They're 9th in the Prem now. Bad form. Frank's on the hot seat now. 100%.
Which he shouldn't be.
But he's on it.
I agree.
We can talk about how whether we agree he should or should not be on it, but he is on the hot seat. Okay.
I don't like that. I don't like that they said that.
So that
the two former players were like, well, they shouldn't be on the hot seat, but if you're Roman Abramovich's coach, then you're on the hot seat after that loss. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that.
but that's how he is.
Every situation is different. This is the most newly put together team.
how he
How the
is.
Prem
We'll
works.
see.
But-
If he loses, I don't think they sack him.
Here's
either.
the
If
It'll
they
be
win
end of the
twice,
year.
they're in second place.
here's the take I want to bring into this.
And other
so
things happen.
We've seen Chelsea drop significantly in the table. If you're a Chelsea supporter, like he said if we don't get top 4, I'm pissed. I agree. If
I'm
you
not
don't
putting-
with the money you spent, if you don't get top 4
Holy.
and get those boys going, first of all,
I agree.
It's a failure of a season with that squad. We can all agree on
absolutely.
that. With those players, that's a failure.
I think. if
And I
you look-
think Lampard is in hot water. I think if they're not in the Champions
If
League,
they're
next
not in the
year, they're hot
Champions
water.
League,
I'm
that
gonna-
for me is the hot water.
Yeah.
I
hot
agree.
water.
change
I agree with
I'm
that.
gonna change my
I
opinion
think.
here,
I think he'd be in hot water, and Chelsea fans will disagree with me. I don't necessarily think I would want him out. I think I would give him another. I would give him the start of the next season.
Jose
and then
Mourinho took him to
if
16th and
nothing
got canned.
happens- If nothing happens from then, yeah, and I think that also has to play with it. Like, let's say we finish 5th. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm still gonna be pissed off, but like, I don't know if that necessarily means we need to sack Frank immediately. Like, I don't think that's
What
the case.
Sean said struck me about how if they put like 3 wins together, like they're up there.
Yeah, they jump back up.
And what made me think about that is because 6 months ago I was Ole out. I was like, dude, pack your fucking
and now
bags.
you love
Get the
this guy.
fuck out of here,
You
man.
think he's the Messiah?
Don't get on the bus. Are you kidding? Now I'm fucking praying to Ole every morning. Are you kidding
Bro,
me?
and I think
But
this-
that's it's the
this Premier
same.
League,
It's the
bro.
same situation where like you guys win 2 games, like you're near
Yeah.
near top.
And to me,
Like,
Ole's a heart guy.
oh, he's
Not
yeah.
tactics. I rate Lampard's tactics. Like it's a tough time to execute your tactics in the
Ole
Premier
lost us
League
that
right
game
now.
yesterday.
It's a
Our tactics were terrible.
it's just
He lost us that game yesterday.
like Frank. Frank was one of my favorite players of all time. I could totally have a bias for him. I was a huge Chelsea fan growing up.
I like him.
Him or Arteta.
I think he's.
I'm gonna throw
Getting the
up.
sack?
I'm gonna throw up.
No, not getting the sack. I'm saying
Who's
who would
better?
really take.
Who's a better
I'm gonna
coach?
throw
I was
up.
just
I'm gonna throw up. Frank Lampard finished 4th.
What are you talking about?
What are you on about?
hey, I will just say that whoever said that in the chat today was talking about Lampard or Arteta and Ole, I was just like, if you look at Ole and Arteta's playing career, Ole blows him out of the water.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Blows him out of the
Ole
water,
was
dude.
dope. Arteta was shit. He was horrible.
But that's what I think so funny is like you look at Lampard and it's like
Ole was one of the most fun players to watch ever. Just come in and fucking net a banger, the
it's
most
like when you
clutch
look at
moment of all
Lampard, it's like,
time.
I feel like there's almost like a nostalgia feel where it's like I don't like Chelsea,
us
but like
through
if Lampard were to do well, it would be very, very fucking cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like the feeling
Oh,
of
Chelsea legend.
of being your Chelsea legend,
Chelsea
like
legend.
winning a league with the club.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
it's a bit of a nostalgia feel, and it's
Wait.
like
Oh,
hold on.
100%.
D, can you hear me? Dietrich, can you hear me? Come here.
You're about
Come
to
here.
Pull this man in. Oh no.
Is Mikel Arteta a club legend?
That was a shake of the head.
That
no
was
for
a
all
shake
our
of the
viewers.
head and
Shake of the head. No.
why would you ask me that?
Coming from an Arsenal fan. Gotta
So-
love it. No, but I was just looking at this table and 10 points separate 12 from 1.
it's awesome.
That is crazy.
I love
It's
it.
not time to be sacking anyone.
No.
No. But
Like we were just saying, Frank wins 3 games. We're top of the table.
People are
Of course, other
applying
things
old
happen
Premier League principles
Yeah.
to this season.
to
You
one of the
can't do
craziest
it.
seasons of all time, and I
You
am
know what
so
sucks
happy
about
with
it so much? It's like we're joint top right now. if we don't win the league, I'm going to be fucking pissed as shit still. It's like one of those things like we have a shot. Yeah. We're not that good, but we have a shot that it makes I'm going to be so much more mad if we don't now.
Yep.
Wild. Okay, so getting away from the Premier League, I wanted to bring up, and I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but we were talking about the Italian league a little bit earlier. I wanted to give a shout out to our boy Weston McKennie.
Let's go. Big game West.
Played in one of the 2 days ago was one of the bigger games for the Italian league. It was Juve versus AC Milan, and our American center midfielder Weston McKennie. One of the things that I thought was crazy is he was subbed on for Dybala. I just think that in itself is sick. Like an American coming on for Dybala and then scoring a goal against AC Milan. So I just had to bring that up, give a big shout out to Weston McKennie.
He also got our boy a job. The right back from Dallas.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I saw that.
Was Brian Reynolds, is that his name?
Brian Reynolds.
Yeah,
Stud right back.
So that's another
just got signed to Juventus because Wes pretty sure was just they played together in Dallas.
Oh, heck yeah.
I would imagine Wes was like, "Hey, check this kid out. He ain't bad." Mm-hmm. And they were like, "We'll check him out," and then they signed him for $7 million on a loan, which is fat.
Yeah.
And sticking with the Italian league, I think their standings and their league table is something to note. With AC Milan at 1, Inter Milan at 2, Roma at 3, and Juve at 4.
Awesome.
So fun, man.
What do we
so
think
blessed
about
this
Juve
year.
being at 4? Do you think is it Pirlo out? what are we thinking?
If you lose the league for the first time in however long in the
I
year,
freaking hope they do.
I
hope they lose.
love
so
Pirlo.
funny.
Pray
They're
he
going to
blows
go
it.
on a run.
You think?
They're going to go on a run because they have Ronaldo, and it's what Ronaldo does.
Yeah, he scores goals.
But he wins games by scoring goals.
Yeah, he wins games. And I'm telling you, Juve is going to go on a run. I don't think AC Milan's going to win the league.
Okay.
The longer Ronaldo plays, the more of a toll he takes on his team.
I agree.
He still scores goals, but the more of a toll he takes on his team. I don't know if that's built to win titles anymore. If your team's getting beat by them giving up 2 or 3 goals by you slacking off, but you scoring a goal every game. It's bad. He walks.
What's funny though is like in Serie A, like Juve can afford to get away with it sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like when they're playing the teams in the bottom half of the table and he doesn't look great and he scores twice, it's like, you know what I mean? They can like when they play like AC Milan or somebody like that, it's like you can notice when Ronaldo's
But I think the leagues
absent.
are changing. Like you can't really just
you
blow
could be
off
right.
a game anymore.
I mean, you could be right.
And I think he's kind of always done it in even like big games. Kind of just floats. Like last like 3 or 4 years, just floats and then pop up levitating 8 feet off the ground. I mean, he's there. He scores the goal. I'm not denying that. I never have. But he puts his team at a disadvantage if he does not put a goal in the net.
One man I want to talk about a little bit, and I will eat my words because I never rated him this high, and I always thought he was overrated. But the Lion himself, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. The man is, let me get his age exactly right.
37?
He is 39 years old.
39. Wow.
39 years old and has, in the Serie A, 6 matches, 10 goals.
Isn't he? I'm pretty sure he's tied for top.
No, Ronaldo's at 14 now.
Oh, okay, so he was before he got injured. He was near top.
The man is coming from the MLS
Yeah, he's
back to Italy.
He's built different.
It blew me away. And I, once again, like I said, to start this conversation, I'm eating my words. I think Zlatan Ibrahimovic
I think if you're a soccer lifer, you just know.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's
You just know.
His
He came to
agent,
LA, he scored a goal from half field.
That was
I was
wild.
like, what are you
his
talking
agent,
about?
who I won't say his name because he's a fucking piece of
Huge
shit.
douche.
But
Mister.
his agent said that he regrets ever sending him to the LA Galaxy. Because he says he regrets sending him there. Yes, it built his brand, but like Zlatan still had the ability to produce in Europe. And so he says, like, yes, it built,
I almost think it gave him a confidence boost.
maybe.
No, bro.
But like you're Zlatan. You think anybody?
Wait.
Most arrogant man in
The
football.
dude is in the MLS like tweeting like, I am king.
Completely.
Before he got to the
completely
MLS,
take
what did he
this
say?
back.
I am bigger than your league or whatever.
I
That was the quote.
completely take
He
that.
goes, I
statement.
am your league.
Zlatan doesn't need any confidence,
saying.
and I
He's just-
apologize for saying
He's just
that.
different.
No, definitely.
Stands alone in history, like for real, as a athlete.
Yeah.
Name
Where do
another
you rate
athlete.
him?
Like
Like-
Dennis Rodman comes to mind as like another enigma like him, but like there's not. He wasn't nearly as talented. Zlatan's hitting bicycle kicks from 45 meters out.
Greatest goal of all
What
time,
are you
man.
talking about? Seriously.
Like where do you rate him? Like it's hard for me to.
Oh, I
like,
rate him high.
I think-
That's what I'm
I've
saying.
always rated him
If
high.
Honestly, he's in my
talking
top-
last
He has to be in your top 10.
2010 through
Of all time?
2020.
Yes.
Like 2010 through 2020.
I could, yeah.
Has to be in your top 10,
Yeah.
right?
Top 10 all time?
Yes.
I have to think about it.
It really depends
Really?
on how you perceive
Football.
you want to. Well, it's just
True.
how you want to perceive your list.
No,
True
you're
ability.
100%.
How you perceive
True
football.
ability.
100%.
Yeah,
I agree.
But
I agree with that.
I like to talk about if we talk about generational. Let's do last 15 years.
That's a better mark for his age. That's why I tried to start with 2010.
Let's do last 15 years where we've seen the best of Zlatan. We've obviously,
Best in soccer.
if we want to talk about ranking him or putting him in a list, obviously we have the two GOATs. We got Messi, Ronaldo at the top.
Greenwood.
Greenwood.
And then you have,
Moving on.
in my opinion, you have to throw Zlatan in the list. Like he's got to be on it.
Sergio Ramos is in my list.
He's got to be
To
on it.
me, I completely agree with Butch. Hands down, De Bruyne is starting to build a case. There are players starting to build a case. When you start with, if you're like how I saw it, was just players of like the 2000s, like something about just since we've been watching soccer
Yeah.
2000 on, like Ronaldo, Messi, Zlatan, and then whoever else you want.
It's crazy.
And he's been
'Cause
to
he's
every
been
top
there
club.
always.
He's performed
Yes.
at every top club. He's been, when he gets to that club, no matter if Messi's next to him or Neymar, they give him the ball and they look like equals. Like they look like comfortable. He's just different.
Almost 600 career goals.
He's 6 what? How tall is he?
He's like
6'4",
6'3",
I think.
6'4".
He can kick over his head. He kicks like 6'11".
Yeah.
What I think is so crazy about it is everybody talks about his goal scoring
Black
ability,
belt in jiu-jitsu.
But if you watch him,
Taekwondo.
the man can play.
Oh, he can play.
Oh, yeah.
He can
His
flat
hold up,
out
Elasticos,
play.
he'll
Hold up.
nutmeg you. Like
He can
5-star
flat out-
skill. What are we?
39 years old.
I know.
It blew me away.
I'm glad you've come around.
I definitely have because, and I think it was just me being
Excuse me,
Ego,
Zlatan
yeah.
is
His
6'5".
ego.
blind to his
6'5".
ego
He's
and
6'5".
just being
Yeah,
like,
he's not 6'3",
He's
bro.
6'5".
I said 6'4",
6'5".
but I'm wrong.
Oh.
If we're going to talk a little bit about, because we were talking before the podcast about how, I kind of mentioned that I think this title race is one of the most exciting in the world right now, Italy. Roma's sitting third. There's somebody I want to point out who has had an unbelievable season
Christopher.
for Roma.
I want to hear
do
this.
it.
It has to be. He's been
say
balling.
it.
Didn't they? Don't they want to sign him
Say
fat?
it.
No, they did.
Oh, they did sign him fat,
They had to agree before
Yeah.
the season started. They
and
did.
it paid off. He's a G.
It's not Christopher.
Ah,
He has, I think, 8 goals, 7 assists. So he's the spark of their offense, and they're third in the table. And it's Henrik Mkhitaryan.
Yeah, I know. I
Mickey.
saw that.
Mickey has been on a tear
One of his favorite players. One of mine
this
too.
year. There's no question that if he continues this form, they
He's
will
leading
be.
the league in assists.
Oh yeah, they're going to be in the 100% top 4, no question about it. But
at
they're going
his-
to push for that title. They're going to push for it. They're 2 points off Inter Milan, who's in
so
second.
Wild. What happens
3
to
points.
players like him in England?
They
Like,
went to Arsenal, bro.
I mean, he was never
went to
great
Man-
for United.
I'm telling you right now. Look at his. There was a year where he had an argument to win the Ballon d'Or. I'm pretty sure for Dortmund, where his stats were literally like
He
equal.
led the league in assists.
And
I
he
think it was
had
that season.
mad goals. He had like
Yeah.
15 goals and like 30 something assists. He was like competing for the Ballon d'Or. He got like 5th, but he should have got 3rd
I
or 1st
thought-
or 2nd.
I thought
But you
we
know,
were getting
3rd.
what Bruno Fernandes
But-
is
but you
now.
know.
And
Oh
Henrik
my God,
Mkhitaryan. That's what I thought we were getting.
The before he showed up to England, like if you compared prime like Sporting Bruno to him taking Dortmund to the Champions League final, I would take him every day. This dude has 5-star weak foot, and I mean it. Like left foot from like 30 yards out, banger. 5-star skills, run more than anyone on your team, and he's old.
31.
Old
I was just
when-
looking it up.
Yeah, like he's from Armenia.
I believe so. I think
He's from one of those.
I'm pretty sure he's like their player of the year, like 7 years in a row or so, or something like that.
One thing I can say about him, I've watched a lot of Serie A this year, and one thing I can say about Mkhitaryan and why Roma's playing so well, he looks happy.
Yeah, he does. He looks different than he did at United.
He looks rejuvenated.
It matters, bro.
Oh, it totally
And that
matters.
just, man, you get. We all know, we all played for so long. Like when you're confident and happy, you're gonna get the best out of yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
He has just
certain players more than others.
We forget they're humans and they go through the everyday life of being in a foreign
They see the
country.
media.
Because certain
they-
ones can get around it.
Yeah.
And then when you see someone who it's truly affecting, it probably seems weird.
Yeah.
yeah,
But there you go.
fantastic.
Balling out of control.
Yeah,
I love to see it.
All the top 4 leagues right now are just crazy, and I don't think there's a better time for us to be talking about soccer. And I am very excited for the
Okay,
next couple.
I think this might be something I want you guys to name who you think is going to win the top 4 leagues.
Okay.
Oof.
No context behind it. just
No
name.
context. Who's winning?
All right.
You want me to start?
Dude,
I'll start.
what if let's go by league.
Okay, let's
Okay.
go by league.
Okay. German league.
I mean,
Bayern Munich.
Butchie.
No, I think for purposes of listening to this, just name your 4.
Okay.
I'll add, go through it. Like whoever's ready.
Okay.
You say you're ready. I'll name the country. You name your team.
Okay,
All right.
hang on. Let me look at the table right now.
I'll go.
You
I
ready?
got it, yeah.
All right. Prem,
City.
La Liga.
Atletico.
Dope. Serie A.
I said dope.
Juve.
You're soft as hell. Are you hearing this kid? Atleti wins La Liga and Juve. Oh my.
Hey.
What a
Weston McKinney.
Yeah.
And Weston we trust.
All right. Bundesliga.
Bundesliga, Bayern Munich.
Nice.
Those are my 4. All right, Butchie, let's go. I want to hear it. This is what I want to hear yours. Proud.
You ready?
Liverpool,
Bundesliga.
Bayern Munich,
La Liga.
Atleti,
Serie A.
Inter Milan.
Nice. That's what I'm
Ooh,
going
Inter
to.
Milan. I like that one.
Conte's gonna get them. This is his time.
Did you
I
send
was
a
just
stat
mad
in
that he
about?
took mine because that's how I was going to say for
Did
them.
you?
I'm gonna say the same.
Yeah,
Who
I
did?
think so.
Did you send in the stat about Lukaku?
Yeah.
Can you say the stat? Do you have it on you?
So what it is
because I thought that was crazy.
I don't know the exact amount of games, but yeah, I'll put it in context. It was Lukaku reached 50 goals for Inter Milan quicker than the old Brazilian Ronaldo.
77 to 51.
Yeah, but I have to put it in context. You have to think during that time when a young Brazilian Ronaldo is playing there. He's playing against guys like Maldini.
The best defensive league ever.
In my opinion,
course.
the best defensive time period and the best defensive league in the world.
Because it was.
Yeah, when you can play
it was
the
so
ball back to the
physical.
goalie.
That's why.
No,
that's,
after
that
that,
stat is-
after that, but
it's a cool. Lukaku's been unbelievable. It's a very cool stat.
those
but
are
I think you
high level
gotta,
defenders. The highest level defenders that could still beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
All right, Dopes. Prem.
United. United.
Is a question or
United.
Bundesliga,
Leipzig.
La Liga,
Real.
and Serie A.
Inter.
Okay.
Shawnee boy. I'm really interested to see Sean's Prem take. Very interested.
Sean. I'm gonna start Bundesliga.
Yeah, I was gonna say take Prem last. I want to hear.
Bundesliga,
Dortmund,
Ooh.
La Liga,
Barcelona.
Ooh.
Wow, that would be so.
if they came back.
Because Messi's leaving, but it's not going to be like this. He's going to win it in their face.
Ooh, that would be wild.
He's
Right in their
hitting
grill
form.
That would
piece.
be wild.
Right in their
they need
grill
to go-
piece.
They need to start getting.
That would
hitting
be
form.
He's
wild.
going to win it, and he's going to dip.
Could you imagine?
It's Messi.
Just holding up a trophy and just like next scene is just him like walking
Yeah.
out the door.
It's Messi.
Serie A.
I'm with Inter.
Okay. And then last but not least, Premier League.
Chelsea. We haven't seen nearly half of Hakeem Ziyech.
That makes me so
I
happy.
promise. If you and you guys, I know we disagree on some stuff, but
I love him.
What's so bad is
I
it's
love
like,
I'm about-
I could,
I'm about
it
to
could
be
very
full.
well happen.
I'm mad that I didn't.
if I
Chelsea
talk
now as a
about
Chelsea
anything,
supporter.
it's how
trying to be
good
real.
this cat is.
Oh,
when Chelsea's ticking, he will literally get 3 assists a game if they tap his. The amount of times people have just biffed his chances already when he's not even
Have
playing
him
well.
and Giroud played yet
A
together?
couple of times, look unreal.
I was
Yeah, we
gonna
won
say.
4-0.
That was the best that Kai looked.
We won
was when it was
4-0.
that triangle of
So-
link up. But yeah, just
Let me ask you a question. This could be a little take. If Ziyech stays fit rest of the year and he's top in his top, is he in De Bruyne class for you?
It depends because it's so hard because De Bruyne has earned his class. Ziyech has not had a chance ever to earn it. Like he kind of has chosen that route to like not go to big clubs and to like be the star of his team. So he couldn't necessarily earn it, but like his years in Ajax, like his stats were crazy.
Oh, yeah.
His stats went absolutely crazy.
Every year.
He's only
I think
27.
it's way too early.
It's pretty old.
Way
I mean,
too
but-
early.
But
to
no,
say
but I'm
that.
saying like he only has like 2 or 3 years of hard evidence with Ajax and now Chelsea. Like even though he was great before then, like De Bruyne was
gotta
Wolfsburg
prove
and
himself.
yeah, like
He's gotta
I think talent-wise,
when they start,
He can play.
It was
He's
just
very
like I
good.
showed you when I showed you guys all the. I don't know if you were there, but I showed a long. I don't know if you were there. Whoever was there, when I showed the Ziyech videos, and I was saying before everyone really knew who he was, I said, imagine if these people were
You showed me
scoring
that.
his
Yes.
goals.
You show me.
you showed me that. It was
The
really,
amount of times people missed tap-ins and their faces were like, I can't believe that ball just came to me. Like, wait till the Chelsea players start scoring those.
Well,
That's what I think
My
will start
favorite
to
video
happen.
of him is that video for Ajax where the camera is so low.
Pans
and you
on the
can
ball and he
see him
sprays
hit
that ball.
Like 60-yard ball just on a
The
dime.
backspin.
Yeah.
So we've kind of talked about leagues, talked about title races. I've got a take that I would like to address.
okay. Let's hear
And
it.
I'm very
Let's hear it,
excited
Richie.
to speak about this because we all played midfield in our careers.
I was a center back, bro.
How's
center
a
back
right
Quincy.
bro?
Episode 1, you gave me some grief for that.
He did. So my take is this. We got 5 minutes left. Just
Yeah,
around?
we got time.
Okay. Who is the best midfielder of the last 15 years? So I would say of our time growing up, who's the best
Oh,
midfield
God.
player that we've seen play? And I'm talking, you cannot include Zidane because you cannot,
Okay, but I
No.
also think
can't include
Let me just
Zidane.
ask you a couple questions.
Yeah,
best
we need
best
to
on their
clarify here.
best on their day, or best overall body of work. You're talking like I got a 90-minute game and I get to pick a player to
like
put in
best
there.
on that day. Or are you talking body of work for the last 15 years?
You've got,
We
let's
play
do
tomorrow.
let's do body of work.
Okay.
Body of work,
midfielder?
you cannot include Zidane because we all think he's the best midfielder to ever grace the game.
Okay.
We all can agree on
Mine's
that.
easy then.
Okay, you want to go first?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
No, I'll go
Oh,
last because
we all know what Sean's is.
who?
Mesut Ozil.
No, it's Lampard.
Ooh, and that makes me so happy.
So why don't
'cause
you go
that's
ahead
who mine was
and
gonna
talk about
be.
Lampard?
I mean, he's
He
like
re-
it's
he
one of those.
redefined that
It's
position.
one of those things where we talk about stats and his stats. As far as stats go for a midfielder,
not
it's so
comparable.
funny when you go over Premier League goals of all time because he's literally up there, sandwiched in between the greatest strikers in English history for goals scored in the
Isn't
Premier
that crazy?
League. There is not another midfielder within like 50-something goal. It's just absolutely bonkers.
Yeah,
That is taking aside how his work rate and his leadership and his grit and his defense and his interceptions, field general. The term field general I learned for the first time was watching him play, watching him check into a pocket and go like that and check 3 times like that. And like obviously other players do that, but the way he did it and to also score those 90th minute goals, like
yeah, and
he stands alone.
I would have to agree with Sean. Frank
Mesut's
is-
hard because third in the Ballon
Yeah.
third in Ballon d'Or rank. Like he's got his own case.
I think
R.I.P. Mesut.
I think Frank is my pick as well, and I think it kind of what Dobes was just saying. He redefined the midfield position. He was bagging in goals every year at a
comical.
gross
I know.
rate.
I've
At
looked.
a gross rate, and yeah,
Beeg sends me a
Lampard's
list
the
like
rank.
once a week. I swear.
yeah.
Lampard's goals.
All right, I'm very intrigued to hear yours because I
just-
think I know who you're
I
going to
just want to say
say.
it before we move on.
I know who he's gonna
Lampard
say.
had 603 goals in his
Yeah.
career
Yeah,
as a midfielder.
It's astonishing.
That's
mine
unbelievable.
Or
mine
wait.
says 6'11", but
No, 211.
oh 2'11", sorry.
Yeah, he didn't have 600 goals.
That's how many.
He had 211
He had 600
goals.
games.
600 games.
Games.
Yeah, I was like,
I was like, wait, that's
whoa.
messy numbers, man.
Why do you
like
think- why do you
100
think-
He was about to be the greatest player of all time.
Well, no, I was about to fuck myself over for putting skulls above him for so long. I was like,
He had like 145 Prem goals or something. Maybe.
177.
170.
I just looked
Which
at it.
something
that's
fat.
regardless. Midfielder, that's still unbelievable.
So Dobes, I'd like you to go next.
If you say Cesc, I'm gonna freak out
Oh, that's who.
I'm not.
Ooh, that's who I thought it was.
not
I think
because we're
we all
talking
know
body of work.
Dobes.
Who?
Not saying him.
Scholesy, right?
But not over the last 15.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like-
he was more of like in Zidane's era, kind of.
He's
Around the
like
same age.
Zidane's area. Like he came up like with United in like '98.
I keep forgetting
Yeah.
15 years ago.
15
It's
years
literally
ago is-
2005.
Ends
When did Kevin De
2013.
Bruyne? Like I know that we're talking body of work. When did Kevin De Bruyne come on the scene with?
Chelsea.
Well, no, with
Wolfsburg.
City.
So gross.
Wolfsburg.
Schalke?
So that's what I'm saying. Like he started
Wolfsburg?
like
Didn't he do both?
No,
I'll look it up.
2012.
He was at Wolfsburg that year.
I don't know. It's
So he went.
2012.
He was on Chelsea. He went
Wolfsburg.
to Wolfsburg,
Yeah, I went to Wolfsburg.
and then
went to City.
And that's when
Schalke
he
was
broke
before
out.
Chelsea. Correct. Okay.
I want to look it up real
I'm
quick.
looking it up right now.
But you go with yours.
So, well, I have it right here. So in 2013-14, he played for Chelsea. From 2013 to 2016, he was at Wolfsburg.
Oh, so he wouldn't be mine then.
2015 to now is City.
I don't know. It's tough. I'm trying to like go back through the years of like the legendary United
Iniesta.
midfielders.
It
but
It goes
it's like-
away from stats if you really break it down.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of like, but we're doing Premier League, aren't we?
No.
No, body of work overall.
How do you work?
Oh, it's just not Xavi or freaking.
That's who he's going to say.
Yeah. I'm
Say
with
it,
you.
but you
I'm
go.
with you. I
Hit it.
thought we were doing Prem. No,
Hit
it's
it.
No.
I don't know. I rate Iniesta over Xavi, but I think you could flip them.
Oh, I think I agree with you. They're just,
You rate Iniesta over Xavi? I like Xavi.
No,
Just
No,
me
he
and
likes
Xavi play
Xavi.
more.
He likes
Like,
Xavi. over
Xavi's
Iniesta.
more the like facilitator, like, and then
I'm
Xavi.
shocked yours isn't Cesc. I am shocked.
Body of work. There is no better body of work
For all-
than those
for all of-
Barcelona center mids.
For all of our listeners, my favorite player is Cesc Fabregas, okay? But I don't pick him as the best midfielder the last 15 years because of two
one-
other Spanish
Yes,
players
thank you.
who redefined what we now know as tiki-taka football.
You are right with that. You
These
are right
guys,
with that.
these guys were making
Toying with
Sir
people.
Alex Ferguson's United look like cones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir Alex said that was the best. That was the best team he's ever put. Like he's
Yeah.
like, we.
So
were
which one are you
hopeless.
taking?
It's so difficult, but I would say the body of, if we're talking body of work, I'm picking Xavi.
If you can pick the 11 to go around them, like Xavi, I think can be the most valuable. But if you just got like a random team, Iniesta gets dropped in there and he just
Because
puts
he
on a
could- he
show.
could do more.
Just
Yeah, he
puts on
could
a
do-
show.
The thing-
if you got 10 other class players around Xavi,
That's
they're
what I was
going to
just-
be in heaven.
That's what I was just. I was about to compare it. I was about to. I know we talked about body work, but I want to go back to if we were to play tomorrow. I think if you had to start your team, Xavi and Iniesta need to be on a good team, and they are incredible when they're on a good team. You put Frank Lampard on a shit team, he makes them good. I think. personally.
Xavi and Iniesta do not make any team worse.
Oh, absolutely
I think
not.
you
But I
could
just don't
put
think
Xavi
you're-
in any team in the world,
I think
and
the
he
one-
would have balled.
I think you're right.
No,
okay,
they're-
I take it back. You're right.
They are those type of players that no matter
I just
what-
think physicality wise, they're
No, there would be counterattacking. Like Xavi couldn't have played for Atleti. Atleti would have changed their whole system.
I just think that
like
they
you're not
make-
seeing Xavi and Iniesta making 40-yard runs and banging one in. Like I don't.
but that was never their style.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like they have to play in that system.
See, have to is like a tough
You're
one.
right. Sorry,
But,
not
like,
have to.
I do think Xavi would be at a disadvantageous position if he were to play for Atleti versus Barcelona. Like
I mean,
I-
clearly that what you're saying.
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
theory,
Arsenal.
if
Like I
we're
think he'd be
stretching
playing.
lot of
Sorry,
what ifs.
sorry. I think
far-
I think he would play better on Arsenal than he would for Atleti. Like just because Arsenal have the ball when he was playing, especially for like 75% of
In
the
my
game,
opinion,
and Atleti have it for
regardless,
25.
any team they walk into, they're making better.
Yeah,
You're right.
1,000%.
Question.
You're right.
Yeah, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever.
Who's your guy for not going to Brew?
Oh no, mine's Iniesta. I
yeah, right.
I like Iniesta more than Xavi in my opinion because I think Iniesta around the box, like I think honestly Xavi and Iniesta, it's like what do you prefer more?
Yeah, exactly.
What type of player do
Exactly.
you like more? And for me, it's like I rate Iniesta better because he's got that goal scoring ability that I think that more than Xavi did.
Yeah,
I'll never
Xavi-
argue out of anyone out of those, but Lampard for me with the goals. Is
Yeah.
what it
Gross.
is.
No, I
All right,
totally
what's-
justified.
I said we're gonna wrap it up, and as per usual, we're gonna have a hot take when we're wrapping this thing up. I want to start first, if you guys don't mind.
Go ahead.
And I think my hot take's pretty hot.
Okay.
I don't think
How hot?
Sheffield United wins a game in the Premier League.
Ooh.
That is.
I mean, we're
my
halfway through and they
hot
haven't won.
Do we react to these hot takes? Because I disagree.
Okay. Nope. No reaction. Moving on.
There you go.
My hot take is that the Golden Boot for Serie A is going to be Romelu Lukaku
I don't necessarily think that's a hot take, but okay.
against Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay, true.
I'll do mine. I
All
know
right.
there was no Ballon d'Or this year, but I think my hot take will be based on the 2020 or 2021 season, Messi or Ronaldo will not win the next Ballon d'Or. It's going to somebody else.
Okay, I was gonna ask
Hot-ish
who you
take.
think.
They're
Keep
old.
going.
One of these years was going to be
What?
it, but at the
Bro,
end,
I
Same
just said
time,
Sheffield's not gonna win a
but
game, bro.
Messi's
They're
hitting,
still bagging
Messi's hitting his
goals,
stride.
so-
Like Messi's hitting form. You
Yeah.
never do. You
All right,
never
Sean,
know.
let's hear it.
well, I thought of one, but I thought our next 5 fixtures were a little worse than they actually were. We got Leicester, Leeds, Arsenal, Aston Villa, and United. Like it's literally all teams in the top half of the table that are good,
Except
except for Arsenal. So I mean, like
Oh, you like that
I
one,
don't
Pete?
want to play Leicester, Leeds, Aston Villa, and Man United. Those are 4 teams you don't want to play.
All right, so what's your hot take?
So my hot take is we win 3 of those games.
The Saints win 3
Okay.
against those. Okay.
Just read off the teams again.
Leicester, Leeds, Arsenal, Villa, United.
Ooh, I think that's a hot take.
3 of those 5.
It's like a hot-ish take.
Yeah.
It's like a word chalk. Trust me against Liverpool because Aurelio Reme is out. Kind of joint.
I don't know. I think it's realistic, but
Yeah.
It's like
I think the game that's
it's like a
that's
bet the
super
house
in-
against Southampton.
I think the game that's super interesting out of those is I think the Leeds game. Because I
Same.
think Southampton always
High
you guys
press
played
possession,
United well.
yeah.
You always play the
possession.
good teams very well.
Yeah.
And to see
we
how
try
you
and
guys play
outpossess
against
every team
Leeds,
except for
find out.
Liverpool.
And I hate to be this guy, but everyone please go follow the Mecca of Banter on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, I believe. Podcast will be coming out every other week. And I think that's a wrap for us.
Cheers, fellas.
Boys.
Signing off.
Cheers.
Coming soon. Love y'all.